Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Coffee Corner. Today is your episode 88. I've been trying so hard to get him up here and he refused. So I'm a little bit exhausted. Anyway, and I've done this so many times that I don't even know where to start. But you know what? I'm just going to continue anyway. Just think about it. It's a kind of chit chat. Again, we don't really have a topic or theme for this episode. I just want to chat about, being confident or something like that. It's really interesting to talk about this because I'm never a confident person. But I don't want to talk about that just because, you know what? I want to know how many of you are like me. That you're not confident no matter what. Some people even say, oh, look at your height. You're so tall. You're so slim. How can you not be confident? I said, well, there's many reasons that you cannot be confident. So let's say that. I think, okay, if you hear noises, that's just my AC blasting. It's time of year. So talk about being confident. It's very interesting that back to before I came to Canada, let's say 8 years ago, yes, I was here. I was still not a very confident person compared to what I'm in right now. The reason, of course, there are many reasons, like, I don't know things. Yeah. My English sucks, I don't speak well. Those kind of things really make me feel uncomfortable by myself. And especially if I go somewhere and there are a lot of people, I can tell myself right away, feel really uncomfortable. And right away, I make mistakes. And when I make mistakes, I hate myself. When I hate myself, there's no way I can become a confident person. So that is me. But I was thinking about, why some people are confident and why some not. And of course, your family, your friends, and everyone around you plays a very important role in being confident, you being confident. And I noticed that just because I chatted with my husband a couple of days ago, he said, I became a totally different person when I'm around my mom. And I said, oh, okay. So I kind of noticed that, but I didn't really think about it. He said 100%. When I'm by myself or when I'm with him or other people, even just strangers, I look very confident and look very happy. I just look very me. But when I'm with my mom, I always second guess myself. I always think about maybe this is not right. Maybe I don't look good. Maybe I should change a different style because she said so. And I realized that, of course, it is really important for us to know that being confident is not only, something that you need to do, is something you have to choose not like something you have to choose. It's more like you have to think about, what kind of people you're hanging out with. It's either your family or your friends or colleagues or your teachers or anyone, they have very huge impact on you. So back to my mom, she of course is doing anything for me, and she of course is thinking anything for me as well. But the thing is, sometimes she's a little bit too much, and she wants me to become perfect, but I can't be perfect. When I can't be perfect, there's something she always wants to criticize about. And when she criticizes, and of course I start to think about, oh, you know what? I'm really imperfect, and I'm really not a good person. I'm really not living up to her expectations, and then I'm really disappointing everybody, and then start to kind of back to the rabbit hole and then think I'm just not a good person, right? And that's when I lost my confidence. I do notice that. And in previous video, I was talking about, how she said about my skin color. And I do easily get tanned. Some people might be, jealous of that. I sometimes don't mind, to be quite honest, especially after I've been living here for so long. And the sunshine here is so much in summer, and we have a very long winter. When it's the summer, I just want to get out and do more outdoor activities. But when you do outdoor activities, even with the sunscreen, you just get tan. But with my mom being here, that has become a thing. Every time when I go out, and she'll be like, oh, look at your skin, it's really dark. Oh, compared to someone, it's really dark. So I start to think about, maybe I don't look good in tan color, but all my friends said, oh, babe, wow, you look so healthy and so shiny. I don't know why it's shiny, so glowy when you have a tan color skin. I'm just like, okay. Because I've been around so many positive people, and they always say nice things to you. They like your style. They like your everything. And then you become like, I'm a very likable person. And then I start to think less about myself being specific a character. I'm more like, I'm myself. I can do whatever I want as long as I don't hurt anybody else. I'm okay. And especially after, I've achieved a lot. I did courses. I passed that. I've achieved my master's degree, and then I've done a lot, and I did well during interviews. I got a good job. Good jobs. And I feel like, you know what, I can accomplish a lot without thinking about how I look, and that makes me feel so much better. And because those are the things that as long as I work hard, I can get it. Then I know all my effort and time and everything pay off, and then that's something very rewarding when I feel rewarding and I feel confident. But when you switch to a different groups of people, and then you start to be like, oh, other things are more important at the moment. Other things that I can't accomplish, can't achieve, can't change, they're more important to other people, not to me. But I need to do it so other people can think highly of me. But then you would think, why do I care about what other people think? But we always care about what other people think. I think it's not on. Partly it's a cultural thing. I think most of Asian people, they live in that culture that other people are more important than anything else. Of course, we care about what other people think of us. But even just one thought will make us think, who am I? Am I a person I like, or am I a person who lives in other people's mouths? So that's what I've been asking about myself. And to be quite honest, because I've been living here so long, or long enough to say no to certain things, to resist certain things, that I still feel like a 50% of myself when I'm with my mom. But if let's say, if like even 5 years, or let's say, even 5 years ago, if my mom lived with me for more than 4 months, I would definitely go back to the original me that I hated. So that is something I noticed living with her recently. But what I want to say is, again, there are many tips, videos, and there are a lot of people talking about how to become confident. I'm definitely no expert on that. I'm still learning to become confident. But what I want to say is, you have to find something that you really like or you really want to do. And you think if you work so hard, not just work a little hard. Okay, you have room to, if you work really hard, you can get it and you can become good at some point. Then I suggest you do it, because accomplishing something will really make you confident. Maybe, okay, here's the thing. Being confident is not a straight line. So it's a winding journey. It's full of ups and lows. Sometimes you just really feel yourself, sometimes you don't. It's okay. So as long as you acknowledge that, it's not like once I've achieved the confidence and I have that. Sometimes you might lose it too, right? But you have to find something that can make you feel confident. Some people are good at, so for examples, I like helping people. So when I help people and people say, oh wow, with your help, I really understand this so much better. Right at that moment, I've got confidence from that person. Again, it's how I care about what other people think, but in a positive way. So if you are good at, so let's say if you're good at video editing and then you did such a thing and you post your video on social media, even if you don't get so many views, as long as you like it, as long as you're amazed by your editing skills, you are confident, right? And speaking English, some people definitely are very intimidated speaking in public, or even just open your mouth, start to speak. That is because you never feel like when you speak to someone and say, oh, wow, you did such a good job. You speak really well. No one said that. If if you hear that kind of compliments so many times to the point you feel like maybe I do speak really well, and then you want to speak more and you improve, and you see the improvement, and you're going to become really confident, and that is a solid confidence, and that is something that can never destroy it because you've achieved that, right? So if you ever want to think about getting confident, you want to find something you are good at. It doesn't have to be fancy. Remember, you don't have to be like, social media has to make everybody a superstar. You don't have to become a superstar. You don't have to have a super skills. You just need to be yourself and do something. Let's say today I get up early and I did yoga. That made me feel really good because, wow, I'll never be able to get up early like that. And I told myself, you know what, today I'm going to do, let's say I'm going to do a minute plank. And I did a minute and a half. And I'm very proud of myself because there's like a 30 seconds overachieved there. So that is something you can find. Spend a little bit of time, even jot it down, and then see, can I find something I'm good at? Can I find something that makes me feel good? Remember, being confident is to find yourself. If you are comfortable with yourself, then you're confident. And I said this many times when I went to Starbucks at first, in the very beginning, I was not confident because I was not comfortable about myself. When I was there, I knew I was going to make something funny, that I knew I was going to make mistakes that people are going to laugh at me. But the funny thing is nobody cares, right? So I did it and that felt really good. And the next time, because my English sucked and I didn't know how to order coffee, I didn't know how many kinds of coffee they had there. So I started to study their menus. You know, I studied the Starbucks menus, McDonald's, KFC's, and other things like in Popeyes and Tim Hortons. I try to learn how to pronounce certain words, you know, and I go there and then I find out, I can order certain drinks, but when they ask other questions, I wasn't able to answer that. But then I came back, I started again, and then I was able to do that again. Then I just keep doing that, right? So you study, you're trying to make improvement, and every single improvement will add a little bit power to your confidence, add a little bit solid foundation to your confidence. So that is something you have achieved that other people can't take it away from you. That's how I become confident, sometimes, most of the time. So I don't trust the pep talk. You know, when I look at mirrors, I can do this. I can do this. Well, if you don't prepare, you cannot do this. Same thing with English here. I've done this so many times. For this just single video, I just didn't know what to talk about, how to start. And I felt like I wasn't really confident about being on camera. And I noticed I made so many mistakes. I was just not being myself there. And I restarted so many times. And then finally I sat down, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to chit chat. I'm just going to talk about random things. I'm just going to be honest with myself. You know, this is me. I'm not trying to lie. I'm not trying to be that kind of person. I have the glory and I want to do the fancy shoot and I want to, you know, give you such kind of big advice or something like that. I just can't. You know, I don't even have an advice for myself. How am I supposed to give that to you? So that's why that's not why, but I don't know why I say why. But that's why I want to do this video. I just want everybody to know that everybody has a moment of not being confident. And part of reason is because what kind of people you're hanging out with. Of course, they have a huge influence. What they say, how they react to you will change how you think about yourself. 100%. That is why when you notice that, what you can do is to get away from them or just ignore them. So either way, which way works for you. So for me, luckily, I was able to get out there and start a new life here. I was really staying away from those kind of people who criticize me in that way. So criticizing and giving advice, they're different. So you have to kind of, you know, tell the difference. But I can't. Okay, so sometimes that sucks. But I think being away from my parents, of course, I sometimes feel bad to say this, but being away from them definitely gives me a lot of confidence to be myself. I can do this. I can wear this because nobody says anything like, "Oh, you look really terrible in that outfit." "Oh, your hair it looks really bad." Even doing this video, my mom said that you're gonna, make yourself more presentable. This doesn't look really well. I'm like, first of all, this is my channel. I want to do something more comfortable. It's not about being fancy because I'm not, trying to promote some makeup or style or something because nobody would want to. But also, being presentable is something like you can show your respect to your audience. But I do think I'm pretty presentable. Maybe not too up to her level, but I do think I'm pretty decent. I look pretty decent. I hope so. Anyway, and also being away from them gives me strength to fight against the people like them, right? So because you can't always escape, you can always say, "Oh, I don't like those people, and I'm gonna escape. I'm gonna get away from them." Because, wow, you know what? There are so many of those kind of people. You can't really just say, "I'm gonna ignore everybody there." Sometimes you just have to deal with them, and that's some of the topic I mentioned a long time ago is dealing with the difficult people, right? How are you going to react to it? But if you can be away from the first group of those kind of people, that gives you a little bit of strength to build your confidence to the point that you trust yourself. The next time when you encounter those kind of people, then you start to believe yourself that you think, "I can do it, and I can take your advice. I can listen to it, but whether to do it or not is my choice." So that you need to build your confidence first to have the ability to say no, right? To tell the difference between criticizing and giving advice, right? And whether you take it or not also is an important decision to make. Sometimes people don't like making important decisions because they're so worried about the consequences. Why do they worry about consequences? Because they're not confident that they have ability to be responsible for any kind of consequences. And that is why, when people give you advice, it's hard for you to say no, or it's very easy for you to second guess yourself because you don't have the power to say no. And the power comes from confidence. You don't have the confidence because everybody tells you that, "Oh, you don't look good. And what are you going to do?" Right? So you need to build the first layer of foundation. Then you can have more layers of that. And that's what I'm trying to say about being confident. And again, it is, I think a lot of students are now going through their very important life. They're going through a very major exam right now. I hope they can do well, but also I want to say that for any of you, either you're going through your, exams, your interviews or anything, failures, sure, you can never avoid failures, but you need to have a strength to know that failures are common, but I can learn from them. If you're going to be like, "If I fail, I'm going to be forever a loser," then you will never get out that trap. That's my advice because I've been through a lot of failures to the point I felt like that was the end of my life. But you know what? I got it out, and then here I am. I'm talking to you guys in front of camera in another country. I'm living a happy life. I have a dog. I have a husband. I have a kid. I have my mom here. I have a lot of friends, and Alicia is going to come to see me soon. A lot of things that you think it's the end of the world, it is not. What you need to do is you just kind of have to bite the bullet and then get through it. Yeah. But how do you bite the bullet and get through it? Is the confidence. How do you get the confidence? Find something that you think you can do. Do it little by little. Get the confidence a little by little as well. When you accumulate, you will eventually get there. Yeah, that's my advice. Okay, so I've done a lot of nonsense talking here. Hope you can find something useful here. And you know what? I'm very sleepy. I didn't have really good sleep last night. But pardon me for that. Anyway, see you next time. Take care.